on, guys? This is Pat here, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about the 10 best movies of 2020 so far, but based on everything going on this year, this might as well be my top 20 list. So I didn't do this at the beginning of July, only because there were several movies I wanted to catch up on that I might have missed, like movies on Netflix, movies that were released in theaters that either I didn't get a chance to see or were in theaters and then they shut down. So, and if you made it all the way to July during all this, hey, welcome to the 7th level of Jumanji. So, let's get started here. To be fair, usually around the halfway mark of the year, there's usually not a lot of movies that I usually love. There's like movies that I like on here. And there's definitely movies on here that I probably wasn't going to put on my top 10 list if it was a normal year. But since this is anything but a normal year, this is my list so far. At number 10, I am putting The Vast of Night. This is a very interesting sci-fi movie. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's very well shot. The acting is very good overall. The atmosphere is very interesting. Admittedly, I kind of didn't get it at first. I kind of thought it was going to be like another Super 8 type of movie, but it's nothing like that at all. And I kind of didn't like it at first, but then it's kind of like one of those movies that kind of like think about it more and more. It's like, huh, okay. And again, it's very well shot, very well acted. Definitely, it's a movie that echoes the era of the movie that the movie takes place in, and kind of try to bring it forward a bit. It's definitely definitely a very different sci-fi movie, probably closer to something like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but it's worth a watch. At number 9, I am putting Horse Girl. This was a movie that was on Netflix, starring Alison Brie as this woman who has schizophrenia. And Alison Brie, she is fantastic in this movie. This is one of the best performances of the year to me. I loved her this performance. Usually I see her in comedies, like, she was on Community, and she was on BoJack Horseman. And here, she's a woman who's clearly breaking down, and yet she doesn't know how this is all going to resolve. And it's a very interesting movie to watch if you're interested in something like mental illness. If you're interested in learning more about that subject, I would definitely check this out. Alison Brie, fantastic. At number 8, I am putting The Half of It, another Netflix movie. This is a very sweet, romantic comedy, drama, coming-of-age movie with it's a premise that you've seen multiple times before, probably, but it does it in a very unique, a very cute, and very forward-thinking way with fantastic performances all across the board. Really check it out. Check it out if you're into any of those types of genres. At number 7, surprisingly, I'm going to put Eurovision. This is a movie that I kind of was not that interested in when I heard about it, but then I watched it, and I thought, this is actually kind of fun. Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams, they're really great together. The songs, they're actually really good. The rest of the cast is really good, and I was kind of worried that this was going to kind of like mock Eurovision, kind of like mock, music from other countries. Turns out actually not. It's actually more of a celebration of that, and that's actually really nice. The music's great. It's definitely very cliched, but, I'm not going to lie, I had a smile on my face throughout. Why not? Number 6, I'm going to put Bad Education. This was a movie that came out on HBO earlier this year. Didn't get a chance to review it, but I did now. Hugh Jackman, Allison Janney play school administrators who are basically scamming the school, essentially. And slowly but surely, they're caught. And it was a very interesting movie. And what's really interesting about this movie is that someone who actually went to the school during this whole thing actually wrote the movie, which I've never actually seen that. And the performances by Hugh Jackman and Allison Janney are great. The performance by the actress who begins uncovering the whole scandal. I forgot her name. I just know that she's on Miracle Workers. She's also really good. Ray Romano is also really good in this. It's a movie that definitely kind of plays with the whole, the whole idea of like what you portray and then what you actually are behind the scenes. And, putting it in a high school setting, that was really interesting as well. And definitely made me want to look more into this whole situation, kind of like try to understand like what happened. In the wrong hands, this could have easily been a bad movie, but it actually worked. At number 5, I am putting The Way Back. As of right now, it's the last movie that I saw in theaters. And this is one of those movies with the performance that honestly overtakes the entire movie. Ben Affleck is so good in this movie as this broken down, alcoholic, former basketball player who is trying to coach this team to basically be like him, at the same time kind of not be like him. I thought everything about this movie was pretty good, and even though I didn't like the ending at first, I kind of thought more and more about it, and it's like, it's not really about an ending, it's about continuing on with a journey, and I kind of thought about it more and more afterwards, and it's like, that actually was a good ending, the more I think about it. So, The Way Back, I found my way back to it, I would say. Number 4 is a movie called Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. This is a movie that deals with the difficult subject matter, but actually approaches it with a lot of subtlety. The performances by the 2 lead actresses are fantastic, and it definitely doesn't treat you like a child. It definitely wants you to know, this is what's happening, this is how these characters feel, and it's very subtle, but it's very obvious at the same time. It may sound bad, but I think when it was being subtle, it worked more. And it's still a very interesting movie to watch. It's definitely not a big flashy movie, which, thank God, but it's definitely worth checking out at some point. At number 3, I'm going to put The King of Staten Island. The Judd Apatow, Pete Davidson movie that I thought was going to be just nothing. And I actually really enjoyed it. Pete Davidson, he's really great in the movie. All the actors do a really good job. Bill Burr, Marissa Tomei, are also really good. Have a very nice balance of comedy and drama as well. And kind of made me understand Pete Davidson more as a person overall. And honestly, I not only understood him, but I kind of related to him at times, which that's one of the bigger surprises of this movie. At number 2, I'm going to put The Invisible Man. I have all these movies and then The Invisible Man, but The Invisible Man is a fantastic horror movie. Elizabeth Moss, fantastic. The way that they build scares throughout this entire movie is fantastic. A lot of them I'm kind of predicting, this is probably what's going to happen. And then something happens and I'm like, oh, okay. So I love the fact that this movie keeps on surprising you. It's very disturbing throughout. It loves to build. It doesn't treat you like a child either. It's like, yeah, you know what's happening, but we're going to build to it so you can actually have that experience. Like, you know what's going to happen. Even though I don't like the whole subplot with the sister, it's still a really good movie overall. But the best movie of 2020 so far is Da 5 Bloods. Another movie with fantastic chemistry from all 4 of the lead actors. Not just the 4 lead actors, pretty much everyone in the entire cast too. It's a movie that blends so many genres. A buddy movie, a war movie, a thriller. And it's honestly one of the most horrifying movies of the year at the same time. And it's also one of the most thrilling, one of the most engaging, one of the most heartbreaking. It was like everything I felt about BlacKkKlansman, the last Spike Lee film, and it definitely improved on that. It made me feel more of those things. Like, at times I was horrified, at times I was sad, I was happy, I was laughing. And normally a movie like that would be very jumbled, but Spike Lee does it in a way that's very, very unique, in a very unique way, I would say. So. And again, all the actors are fantastic. Yeah, that's my top 10 list. I'm sorry if I kind of repeated myself in this list, but I kind of want to get this out of the way. And make sure you stay tuned next for my worst of 2020 list. Stay tuned and stay safe.